Welcome. My name is Courtney Perry, and I'm going to give you a short tour of my course. You are starting the course here in my announcements page, which is where my students also start. Every time my course opens, it opens in this page. It's important for the first day of class when they have the welcome to class with a lot of important information, but also for the rest of the class, because this is where I put important information, announcements, reminders about classwork that's due. I post in the announcements a weekly announcement every Monday, and I also post group feedback on assignments here. Students are directed to the Getting Started button after reading that announcement. When you enter the Getting Started button, you're greeted by a video, which is me giving a welcome to the class, and a second video, which is a course tour. This video is beneficial to students because it allows them to see how to navigate the class and what to expect from the layout and where they can find important information. There is a navigation and syllabus quiz for students to take to show that they understand the information they've read in the syllabus and seen on the navigation video, a link to the Getting Started button, and an assignment that is information on student success. There's also a link to the course syllabus. So if we go to the Getting Started assignment, that will just link us to the Getting Started assignment folder, which is located in the Lessons button. There is a checklist provided for students so that they don't miss anything. There is an email assignment, FERPA, a link to the introduction discussion board, and information about activating their Wake Tech email account. I'm going to open the Lessons button so we can see the whole button now. I keep my course arranged in reverse order, I guess we would call it. So students can't see the module folders until they become available. They don't realize it's in reverse order. However, the way I keep it is in reverse order so that when a new module comes available, it is always at the top of the page. I'm going to show you my module layout in this Module 1 folder. All my modules have the same layout. They are very consistent. Each module begins with module instructions. These are instructions for the entire module. There are dates for any expectations that are to be met. The instructions can also be downloaded and printed so that students can have a hard copy of it to check off items. I also provide a learning guide for each module. This is just information about what they should be studying and where they should be focusing their learning. Since the paper is due during this module, I have provided a link to it here. The actual assignment is in the Lessons button. The exam is there. Again, it's at the top before the chapters because it's only available for a few days at the end of everything. So after they've viewed everything and it's time to take the test will be at the top of the page when they enter it. So I have my module that we're in, and within the module are the chapter folders. If I go to Chapter 1, I can show you the layout of my chapters, and each chapter folder is consistent in its layout also. Sometimes there might be an extra video or more handouts, but I try to keep the entire format, very consistent. So we start with learning objectives and a note to read the chapter, because believe it or not, sometimes students will say that's not something I've told them to do. A writing assignment. I have a few links to biographies on famous psychologists, PowerPoint presentation, and some videos, a link to a TED Talk, and a quiz. This is pretty consistent throughout the chapters. Some chapters are more difficult, have more information, handouts, discussion board links, depending on what's going on for that chapter. So I got out of the module to show you the chapter 1, but I'm going to go back here just to show you each chapter has its own folder. And at the end of all of that, I also provide an exam preparation guide. There is a lot of information to learn in my discipline with each chapter, and students often ask for some way to narrow that down. They know they're still responsible for all the information, but some of the topics that are definitely more difficult, I like to provide to students so that they know that this is a difficult topic. It's frequently missed on an exam. Please take some extra time to go over them. I'm going to head over to the collaboration button now, just to show you that I have a student coffee house for students where they can develop study groups or ask for help. This is just for students. And I have my discussion boards in here also. I keep them in reverse order also so that the newest is always at the top. I moved this one to the top purely for this video. All I wanted to show you really here is that the directions are provided to students, and the rubric of how each discussion board will be graded is also provided. This rubric is inside of each discussion board, even if it's the same exact information. Students benefit from seeing exactly how they'll be graded for everything that they do. I also provide my students with a very detailed weekly course schedule. This has all sorts of important dates on it that they need to know, which are also found elsewhere in the module instructions, in my weekly reminders, but it helps to have something that's a hard copy they can print out, which I suggest they do often. The last thing I wanted to show you was that I have this folder called How This Course Works. This folder includes information that students typically ask or have questions on. I also add to this when necessary. I didn't realize once that students didn't know how to upload an assignment or even post to discussion boards. So when these questions come up, I create a document and place them in this folder for students to view. That's some of my course, and I thank you for taking all this time to watch it. I hope I gave you some helpful tips, and maybe I'll see you next time. Thanks.